There are many, many different black seeds, and there's people call themselves making black seed oil, and they're not even using the correct seed. Humans don't know this, but squirrels know it. When a squirrel bites into a lemon, a lime, or orange, the squirrel knows he's getting healed. The squirrel knows his fur and his coat is going to be better protected. The squirrel knows when the winter goes from winter to fall to summer to spring to Easter, he's acclimating. Animals know this naturally from God. But why don't we know this from God? We have dominion over animals. We're supposed to be the smartest on the planet Earth. Speaking about water, I want to make sure the world knows not to jump into that alkaline water. That alkaline is the biggest joke, it's the biggest trick. They don't want you to see the sun. Woo! Mark chapter 4, verse 30 through 32 in the Bible, where God talks about this mustard green leaf. How shall we compare the kingdom of God? You know, and also in Matthew 16, where God talks about having the faith of the grain of the mustard seed. That lemon, the lime, the orange, and the grapefruit. The lemon, the lime, the orange, and the grapefruit, they alkaline the body. My grandfather said, you take this knife and cut that lemon. He said, you squeeze it on your wood. I said, what for wood? He said, just shut up, boy. When you gotta use your wood, you squeeze the lemon on that first. I put my arms and my legs around it, and I wrapped around that tree, and I wouldn't let it go. I felt that the tree was me and that I was the tree. And I took the tree and I would blow under the bottom of the leaf of the tree. I knew that if I blew, I give off the carbon dioxide and the leaf gives off the oxygen. I want the world to know, because nobody really knows this. Leaves breathe from under the bottom. If you got plants in your house, wipe the leaf from under the bottom. If you see me watering the plants around my house, you'll see me spraying the leaves on the trees at the top. You don't see nobody spraying the trees at the top. Guess what? The leaves on the trees, they need love too. Nobody ever told you that. So that's how I got started, okay? My grandfather taught me about using a knife when I was 6 years old. He gave me a little butter knife. I said, what am I supposed to do with this knife? And it wasn't a butter knife. It was a little like a 3-inch blade. He said, boy, you take this knife. He said, one day you're going to meet a girl. And when you meet that girl, you're going to have to maybe use your wood. And I said, Grandpa, wood? What wood? What are you talking about? I'm just 6 years old, okay? And my grandpa said, he said, boy, you got wood down there. I said, what? He said, you got wood. So you take this knife and you cut that lemon in half. And you cut that lemon. He said, if you ain't got a lemon, you take your finger, you go deep, deep into your earlobe, and you pull some wax out and you put it right on the top of your pee-pee. Oh, this is one of the first things I learned about health from my grandpa, okay? We Cherokee, Blackfoot, a red bone, okay? But anyway, my grandfather said, you take this knife and cut that lemon. He said, you squeeze it on your wood. I said, what for wood? He said, just shut up, boy. When you gotta use your wood, you squeeze the lemon on there first, or you get the wax out. So my grandfather taught me when I was 6 years old how to make a condom. This is a natural condom. People don't know this. Squeezing a lemon over the male penis, and they would make a, how do you say, a coating over the penis. And when this coating goes over, if he goes inside a woman, if she's dirty, if she's nasty, if she's not clean, then she will scream, and that will give him the warning sign to walk away from her. My grandfather taught me in the old days that they used Vaseline. They put Vaseline inside of women, and they didn't have to use birth control. Sperm does not hatch in Vaseline. I'll say this slowly. Sperm cells do not hatch in Vaseline. So in the old days, they have the girls put Vaseline up in them before they go to school, in case a girl ran up to some guy and some guy tried to get her pregnant, and she don't bring babies home. So my grandfather taught me how to make a liquid condom. Once again, with lemon. Got to be a real lemon. Can't be none of these clone lemons that you guys are using, okay? Yeah. And he also told me to take the earwax. He said, if you can't find a lemon, boy, dig in deep and put that right over the top of your pee-pee. This is stuff I first learned. I was 6 years old. My grandpa said, gargle, boy, gargle with that pee. Gargle with your pee. And he had me gargling with my own urine whenever I caught a cold. I want the world to know I gargled with my own urine up until I was 21 years of age. So there's knowledge that came.
Why you stop using the urine Did you learn it was wrong?
The reason why I stopped using the urine, because I knew of many other ways. God keeps teaching me. As you want to learn, God will continue to advance your knowledge. He will continue, Brother Kenta, to advance in your knowledge the more that you seek. If you seek God with all your might, your heart, and your soul, with all your energy. Example, people just pick up the Bible and they figure that that's all as far as they can go with the knowledge. There's many other places to get knowledge about God other than the Bible, okay? So, but that's the reason why I did that, was because I knew different ways. I knew that I could gargle with peroxide now. I know that I could gargle with salt now. I know I could take garlic water and I can garlic with that, do with that. I can do the same thing with
Garlic
ginger.
water.
Garlic water and ginger water. People don't know about that. Sometimes I make garlic water and I have a bowl of ginger water and I just keep it to the side, okay? And drink it for when you get sick. A lot of people don't know that. In the old days, we used to use rain water. We would take the rain, put out buckets all around our house, and save that rainwater to wash your body, the rainwater to wash your hair, and the rainwater to drink. You could drink it in the old days, but you can't do that now. Speaking about water, I want to make sure the world knows not to jump into that alkaline water. That alkaline is the biggest joke, it's the biggest trick. And I hate to say it, but people come up with all these different things. And then you find millions of people that jump on the bandwagon, okay? Alkaline water has salt deposit. Alkaline water is not water at all. Just like this, to show you these bottles right here, these waters all have salt in them, okay? They all have salt deposits in almost every bottle that you get. People say, well, what's the best bottles to drink? The best bottle of water for you to drink right now, which are less expensive, would be the distilled water. Distilled water is better than anything alkaline you can take. And people say, yeah, but still distilled water don't have no nutrients, Dr. Jolly. It's just dry. It's flat out, don't have a darn thing in it. That is correct. It has nothing in it, so there's nothing in it to hurt and harm you. Guess what? People don't know this, but distilled water is what you use to clean contact lenses with. Distilled water is the only water you can use and put in your iron. Distilled water does many things. Also, distilled water is number one for people with brain headaches, people who have aneurysm, people who have autistic attacks, people who have asthmatic attacks, 50 of them a week on distilled water. What you do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to teach you today what the world don't know. Now, there's some people in certain parts of the world that do know this, but 95% do not. If you want to make yourself some good water, just get some distilled water, cut a lemon, cut a lime, cut an orange, or cut a grapefruit. Let me give it to you better than that. Let's just say, Brother Kenta, how many children you have?
2.
2. But let's just say if you had 4. If you had 4 children, you put them in front of you, and I'm going to teach you guys all over the world how do you get your children going in alkaline water. What you do is this. You have child 1, pick what you want. Tell your daughter, pick what you want. There's 4 items there: lemon, lime, orange, grapefruit. Tell her, pick what you want. Your son's there, you tell your son, pick what you want. Each child picks which one they want. Maybe this child wants the lime. Maybe this child wants the grapefruit. This child wants the orange, or this child wants the lemon. So when the child picks the item that they want, this is how I started my daughter, Brother Kenta. I started her this way at 2 years old. I said, Sophia, which one do you want? She says, the lemon. And because she picked the lemon, okay, every day, Sophia, you're going to squeeze lemon in your water. So every day she would have lemon, and we would squeeze that lemon in her water. So my daughter was starting off alkalining her own body, getting her own self alkaline, and she liked that lemon water. And when daughter said, Daddy, one day I got a stomach ache. You know, I told her, go get your lemon and run it up your stomach. She said, Daddy, a spider bit me. I said, go get your lemon and rub it on the spider bite.
Wow.
You get what I said?
Yeah.
And that's how we took care of that.
Wow.
That's how we took care of that. That lemon, the lime, the orange, and the grapefruit. The lemon, the lime, the orange, and the grapefruit, they alkaline the body. And you know, when you see a lemon, you see a little white ring around the lemon when you cut it, and you see the orange, the grapefruit, okay? They have that, okay? And the lime, it has that white little ring when you cut it. That white ring that you see around the lemon, around the orange, the skin, around the grapefruit, okay? That is called the pith. That is your natural citric acid. Now watch this. Humans don't know this, but squirrels know it. When a squirrel bites into a lemon, a lime, or orange, the squirrel knows he's getting healed. The squirrel knows his fur and his coat is going to be better protected. The squirrel knows when the winter goes from winter to fall to summer to spring to each he's acclimating. Animals know this naturally from God. But why don't we know this from God? We have dominion over animals. We're supposed to be the smartest on the planet Earth.
Wow.
But I tell people, you know what? And I want the world to know this because this is some powerful stuff, what I'm going to say. A rabbit only eats what God says eat. A deer only eats what God says eat. A bear only going to eat what God says eat. And God knows, everybody knows there's a cat. A cat's not going to eat what you put in front of the cat's face. The cat's going to look at you like you're just some dumb bum trying to knock him off, bump him off. Cats will look at you like you're stupid. Give them a potato chip. This cat's going, no. See, so God instilled it in the animals. But let me take you a step further in this in health and food line, okay? A rabbit could get by with 3-4 items. A deer could get by with 2-3 items. But you, as a human being, you need everything on the shelf in the stores. Your store's got 20, 30, 40 aisles, and you try to pick some out of each one. I learned as a young boy that I could live off a few items and not need all these things. I learned how to take myself and just live off nuts. I learned how to just live off cheese. I learned how to just live off beans and rice. So we're taking our bodies out. Just thinking what I'm saying, because you're putting all these multiples of all these things in your body, and your body's like, what do you want? You want this, you want that. Each week you try to change it up. Am I right or wrong? People just keep changing it up and keep changing your body. They're like, hey, I barely got used to the pizza. Oh, you tried to kill me, huh? Then you took me to over this over here. Some burritos take me out on. And you took me out on something else.
1 second. So, all right, just to get back on the alkaline. So are you saying even natural alkaline water is bad, or you're saying because a lot of people are getting this alkaline water, but they're really just getting tap water alkaline. So you still got the chlorine, you still got the fluoride, because the alkaline don't do none of that.
That's correct. Oh, well, I'll say it to you in this manner.
Don't take the that stuff out.
Both are destroyers to the body and to the brain. The water out of the faucet, I tell everybody, don't drink any water out of any faucet anywhere in America. There may be one place in America where it's possible, but I don't think they have the water directed to the faucets, and that's in Palm Springs. Palm Springs has some waterfalls where they have some of the best water in all of America free. And I don't know if it's still free, but you used to be able to drive a truck up there for like $3-4 and get all the water you want just coming off these waterfalls, okay? Oh, wow. But I'm not sure if they're directing that water from those falls into the systems of Palm Springs. I don't think so. I really do not think so. So I would tell people, especially like in a city like Chicago and St. Louis. I remember I went to Chicago because people fly me to people's homes. That's something that everybody needs to know. When somebody's dying, a family may give me a call and they will, set up a situation where we go through some consultation, and then I will show up at their homes at a later date, maybe a week later, and go and cook food and prepare food for that person that's dying. I have went into several people's homes and cooked and prepared food. And what I do, let's say, example, if it's a cancer person that has 3rd, 4th stage cancer, 1st stage, what have you, I would go into the home, bring my herbs that I have here in my book, and I would teach the family how to administer the herbs. I would actually cook in your home. Like if I came into your home, I let the families bring in videos. Some of them have Cousin Joe, Auntie Betty, and they got 4 or 5 people in the house videotaping me while I'm giving the entire family instructions on how to keep the mother in the safe zone and away from cancer. So I would make so many different items. I would make hummus, I'd make tabbouleh, I'd make different gallons of juice to put in the icebox. I would make stuffed bell peppers, things that I could freeze for the family and freeze these foods. And so that your mother or your father, they got food that was made by Dr. Jolly Harris, the prophet, okay? I made these foods with my hands, and these herbs also go in the food. So I have herbs for you to take physically through your mouth and drink and lick, and then I have herbs that I have already placed in your food, okay? So there's many situations where people get help in that manner. But back to the water, we don't want you drinking any water from the hydrogen. And this is Dr. Jolly saying this, and I don't care who comes after me. I represent Jolly Harris III, prophet of Feed God's Sheep Missionary Church, and his successors, a corporation soul. We are a sovereign church and a sovereign ministry, and I am a sovereign prophet. Okay? So I don't care about who comes to me to discuss or talk or say, oh, this guy told a lie about this. You bring it, and bring it some more, because the water is the number one thing that's killing the babies as they're born. The senior citizens is taking them out. The water, the air, and the food. I'm going to say it again. The water, the air, and the food, that is more destructive than a bullet to your head. People don't know this. It's a slow death. Man has set up a system of slow death. Man has set up a system with all these fake clouds all over the sky, Brother Kenta. They got clouds. Look in the sky. Right now, they got it set up. I tell people, make a liar. Try to make me a liar. Every holiday, I don't care what holiday it is, they bring in clouds and bad weather 2-3 days before the holiday. I don't care if it's Christmas, New Year's, Halloween, whatever the holiday, y'all just look up for bad weather 2-3 days before and 2-3 days after. You know why? Because they're going to bring in all of these chemical clouds. They have a system of using satellites where they can remote control, use 5G or 100G, and move these fake clouds. People say, doctor, what do you mean fake clouds? I'm looking at these clouds. These are real clouds. I can see them with my own eyes. These are not God's clouds. These are manufactured clouds. They're called chemtrails. And when you see the plane flies by and it draws a line, each one of those lines will eventually spread out and make this cloud. They learned a way to make all 4 different types of clouds, okay? The cumulus, all this stuff. They can make all this stuff, okay? And what happens inside these clouds? They're carrying mercury, okay? They're carrying asbestos. They're carrying all of this nanodust chemical stuff that they put in these planes, and they're spreading it all over the earth. So if you go out 2 days before a holiday, 3 days before a holiday, Christmas coming up, you got to go shopping for your children. New Year's Eve coming up, you got to go get, or Halloween, you got to go get your costume. So they know you're out there. And they bring these clouds. Remember this, man is doing everything, not just in this country. This is an international thing. It's international, where the whole Geneva Conference, all these 250 countries, they have agreed to depopulate. Oh, you ever heard about this depopulation program?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the depopulation program, a lot of people don't know really what the whole means of it is. The origin of this program is to have less people for one reason. First of all, they want the amount of people that's in America, like 340, 350 million. They want that amount of people that's in America to be the amount of people for the whole entire globe. I'm going to say that again. The amount of people in America, the 300 and something million, 350, 320, whatever that number is, they want that number to be the number for the entire globe. So that means, oh, with India, you got to kill billions of people to get this number down. In China and Japan, you got to kill billions of people. It's a global thing to depopulate. And they found a way of doing it through the air. Every country, even they telling me over in Kenya right now and all over Africa right now, they're starting to have clouds come in where they never had these clouds before. Man is bringing in you these clouds with chemicals, and he's doing everything he can. I'm going to release the big bear in the room. They're doing everything they can, Brother Kenta, to keep you from seeing the sun. They don't want you to see the sun. Woo!
Because that's the vitamin D.
They don't want you to see because the sun puts life in your life. The vitamin D, the vitamin K, all these nutrients that come through the sun, they don't want you to get none of this. Also, the sun, it balances out your electricity in your body. Your sun, it balances out the equilibrium in your body.
Explain vitamin K, because that was the only thing that they got me to shoot my babies with.
With vitamin K?
With vitamin, because I shut down the vaccine, I shut down everything at birth.
Well, let me say
but
this.
They hit us with the vitamin K.
Okay.
And we were so thrown off by it.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
understand? And
But
it sounded cool, but I knew it was something sinister.
you know something to it. Well, I'll say this to you like this: you got good everything, you got bad everything. Like you got good salt, you got bad salt. You see what I'm saying? You got good blood pressure, and you got bad blood pressure. You got a good and bad in everything. So in this vitamin K, let me just describe it to you the best way I can give it to you from how God gives it to me. He gives it to me as an enlightenment of oxygen and combustion. That's what vitamin K is to me, oxygen and combustion. And the best places to find, like if I knew you before when the doctor was telling you guys to do all this, I would tell you skip that stuff and skip the vitamin K and skip everything they say. I'm going to show you how to get God's vitamin K. I just showed you guys how to get God's real natural acid into your water, right? To make it alkaline. All right. We'll go back to this in a second. But to this vitamin K, the mustard green leaf. When people have diabetes and people go to these doctors and start taking insulin, the first thing they tell them is stay away from green leaves. A lot of green leaves have vitamin K, and like in kale and the mustard green leaf, and there's vitamins in these green leaves, okay? The vitamin K. And they will tell you to stay away from vitamin K. And what I tell people to do is, you ready? Mark chapter 4, verse 30 through 32 in the Bible, where God talks about this mustard green leaf. How shall we compare the kingdom of God? You know, and also in Matthew 16, where God talks about having the faith of the grain of the mustard seed. Okay. But anyway, the mustard green leaf, God talks about it in the Bible. That's where I get my vitamin K. I don't need your vitamin K. I get it directly from the book. Period. So if you eat one leaf a day, you got all the vitamin K you need. Now, let's say you got a daughter, son, and a young, they don't like, I don't want to eat that mustard green leaf. You could take that mustard green leaf and chop it into tiny pieces and mix it with spinach and put it in salad and have your daughter eat it that way. Just start putting small amounts in. I call it kid smart. You just bring it in little by little bit, little bit by little bit, because that's how they flip your mind out to believe in doctors anyway, by bringing it in little bit by little bit. Okay, so with vitamin K, all you got to remember is one thing: eat the mustard green leaf. Second to that may be the kale.
The kale.
Okay?
Now,
and I say mustard green, not collard greens. When I say mustard green, black people go, so I eat them green. I eat them. Yeah, but you ate collard greens. I eat them green. Yeah, but you ate turnip greens. I ate them green. Yeah, but you ate Swiss chard.
Yeah. Yeah. Texas, it's the Texas mustard green. Is that what I
The Texas mustard green leaf is honestly one of the best in America.
It is.
The greens out of Texas and out of Mississippi. Oh, God, man, it's amazing.
Now, explain your philosophy of seeds, because you're mainly black mustard seed and black seed oil. Right?
Black seed oil.
Black seed oil. Is the black mustard seed the same as the black seed oil?
No. Two different seeds. There are many different black seeds, and there's people calling themselves making black seed oil, and they're not even using the correct seed. But there are many different black seeds that are healers to the body. I'll give you one that's even tops with the black seed oil that I use. Another seed is the black sesame seed. A lot of people not familiar with the black sesame. Buddha had black tea. Buddha had black sesame seeds. People don't know this, but China had thousands of recipes with black sesame seeds. Okay? So, but black seeds are healers to the body. Not just the black seed, the black fruits, the black anything you eat. We have black radishes. We have black rice. We have black popcorn. We have black salt. Black salt. Take a look at that.
Wow.
That's your gift, one of your gifts here today, black salt. You take that and suck on it. It comes out of mines, out of caves, up in different places across the world. That came out of the Kush Mountains. But the black salt comes from different places, and it's loaded with sulfur. That black salt is a detoxifier, and it opens up the blood. It opens up everything, okay? It really does. Going back to, I want to get something on alkaline that I didn't say.
Please.
Something about alkaline. The word alkaline, woo, big word. It is so powerful that the world don't know that alkaline, that word, you could heal a third of the world just with alkaline alone. Oh, what did the doctor just say? He said he can kill half, third of the world with just alkaline alone. Let me give you an example. Back in the days, they have somebody over in Africa get bit by a rattlesnake, anywhere in the desert, anywhere, right here in America. But with a rattlesnake bite, you got to get all that poison out. If you have the perfect alkalization in your body, an African man laying on the ground dying from a rattlesnake bite, one African comes over, spits in the wound. Another African spits in the room. We got 150 Africans in line, all the village people in line to do one thing: spit in that wound. We're not going to take a knife and dig in here and try to cut it out and cut a vein and screw them up. We're just going to spit in that wound. If I could get 100 people to spit in the wound of a snake bite, we can heal that snake bite by the acid of your spit. I want you guys to know this out there. Dr. Jolly, when I was a young boy, I used to fall, this and that happened, hit the wall, because I was, overactive child. I'm running. Whatever I do, I run into whatever it is in the old days, okay? If you saw me opening my door, I run out the house. I run in the house. Everything was me running. So I did a lot of scratches, a lot of falls, a lot of bumps, because I'm always running. And you know what? I go home and I see a scar on my hand. And when I did it, I didn't even notice it. Now I'm like, wow, where did this come from? Or I see a big scar on my elbow. You know what I did all my life, Brother Kenta?
Right.
So help me God. I have never, ever went a time where I did not lick whatever happened to my body. If I cut myself, if I had a bruise, if I had a burn, whatever it is, I lick it. And when I lick it, I learned when I was a young boy that the alkalization in my blood, in my body, in my saliva, the alkalization is so strong that if I cut myself and lick it for 5 minutes, it's a bandage. It's healing within 30 minutes. Every scar, every bruise were healed by me licking it.
You still lick it?
I still do today. I hit my funny bone, my elbow, and I went down and licked that. I couldn't touch it actually get it, so I had to whip my hand and go back and forth.
Right.
People don't know this alkalization. People say, I'm alkaline. You know what I'll do? I'll look at them like, you think you're alkaline. You're only as alkaline as strong as the power of your spit. I'm going to say it again. Your spit is the medicine.